Hi, good morning. I'm driving, obviously, and this sun, you can tell it's sunrise. It's a little before 7 a.m. here in the central Midwest, and there's like this mist. It's so synchronistic how the physical reality out here is mirroring the feeling that came through in the meditation this morning. And there's like this soft mist hovering real close to the ground. It makes everything feel a little mystical and quiet, like shh, like don't disturb the mist. It's like settling on the crops. I'm passing by some bean crops. Like in this area, we either have corn or beans. And then the next year, then this what side plants corn and those side plants beans. And so this side this year has beans, and there's like this mist hovering right on top. It's just so beautiful, and it makes me want to whisper. And so what was the message in this morning's meditation? It was, hold on, I gotta turn. First of all, I hope you can hear. I'm trying out the microphone while on the road. Don't do this at home. I feel like I'm safe, but it's still like you shouldn't be doing a video and driving. Although I'm hands-free, so I feel good about it. Well, anyway, this is about. So the message in this morning's meditation was it's so funny because it's so different than what's been coming through lately. However, it's related. So it said, feel your giant heart. What? Feel your giant heart. Feel your giant heart. Oh, my friend is right in front of me. How funny. Well, small town. So feel your giant heart. Let's do this. That's better. So, and then what came through was like this, like as I placed my attention on my heart, there was this whoosh kind of big warmth, almost fire, but a warm, gentle fire. But the word that came through was melting. So if that's your permission, your confirmation that have you been wanting more of that, then today's the day. So that's what came through during that after I felt it, it felt like it's time. Like that's the message. It's time to melt open, to feel your giant heart. It's the heart that a lot of us, and I can resonate with this too, where we guard it, and things in our life up to now have felt like we needed to guard our heart because it is so giant, it is so big, it can care and hold and carry so much. And that's a theme too in this morning's meditation, was like you're about ready to, and that's why these things seem paradoxical, and they're so intertwined, because paradoxes are when you're holding two seemingly opposing truths in the same truth space, and you can feel into the truth of both individually and how they meld together and create yet a transcendent truth. Ooh, I got the chills on that one. Also my AC, maybe I don't need to have it so low. So anyway, oh, my chapstick just fell out of my pocket. I gotta hunt for it under my seat. Not right now, don't do that at home. So that's the thing that also came through that it seems like a paradox is you're about ready to stop carrying what was never yours to carry. And that is a tie back or a callback to some of the readings that have been coming through. Whatever you're shedding, whatever you're dropping, it was never yours to carry in the first place. And maybe it felt like yours. Maybe it felt like a part of your identity was tied up in it. And it's saying, no, it was never yours. And by feeling your giant heart and melting, letting yourself melt, and that feels different maybe for all of us, but you know what I mean, like just it's almost like surrender energy, like just let it happen and just go into that space. Place your attention all right here and just feel how giant you can let it feel. And when you feel the giant, I'm getting all the chills, the giantness of your heart space, you'll know that it'll become so clear to you, oh my God, yes, I was guarding it. I was holding it back. I was shielding it. I was protecting it because it is so big. It can carry so much for myself and for others. And it can hold others in compassion. Compassion was the other word. There's something about moving into your most compassionate phase. And I feel like right today is that portal, the compassion portal you're like melting into, that's going to slide you into your next way of being and the next step of your path and the next opening. So we've had all this giant building energy of like, you're in the middle liminal space, the void, you're holding, because you've in your own way figured out, I don't want any more of that. I'm going to close. We had a lot of world energy in tarot where you close out a cycle so another can open. And so it's like, you knew that was coming. You knew it was time. You know that you want to step into the next step, phase, way, project, passion, whatever that new opening is for you. And you also knew it was time to just hold the energy instead of like that reactionary or impulsive energy that says, I just got to leap. I don't know what I like. It's this holding has really been about tapping into where you feel called to go. Like, what are your deepest desires? What's your calling? And that came through yesterday with knowing is your calling. Not knowing is your job description. Ooh, I got the chills again on that. That still feels relevant. And that's a quote by somebody else, by the way. I wanted to clarify that wasn't me, but it was something I heard that was like, woo, that's important. And so that's kind of like this space we've been in is like, you have so much knowing and you're holding the tension of what it feels like to not know where you're going next sometimes. Like, you may be weighing some options. Like, you may know in some sense about where you're being called, but it's still saying hold, because if you leap, the energies that will be the how this thing plays out it feels like scatter energy. It feels like what came to me this morning was, this is why that came through. Oh my God. I love when that happens. It's like, trust that it'll all reveal itself. I had a vision come through this morning and it was so weird. I was like, what the hell is that? And it was a brick wall. And this person, it felt like feminine energy. I don't know why. Maybe it just had the character display in the energy felt feminine. And it was like, it was the top part of her body and her hands were like this going, and oh my God. So I was like, what the hell is that? And the things that are coming through there are so funny. And so I was like, brick wall, and it felt like chaotic, like that. How do I describe it? Yes, you could say impulsive. Yes, you could say tension, friction, but it's like all those things. And it's just like, it's like somebody who has a compulsion and it's got to act itself out. And that's the energy of like, if we didn't hold the tension right now in this liminal space, in this portal that's happening between the old and the new, and like integrate those energies, let them meld in you to build something that you can't understand or expect or anticipate. Like, it's holding all of this in there to let it work its magic. If you leapt first, it'd be like compulsive energy. Oh my God, that's the word. It'd be like, oh shit, now I leapt and I've got to compulsively figure this out. And like, then you realize maybe old patterns come back around and your anxiety comes back around and all that stuff. So This is starting to make so much sense now. As weird as these things come through, it felt, it was like a little chaos bunny beating their head up against the brick wall in that imagery. So don't do that. Hold. We're still holding, but then on the tail end of this holding, before you slide through this portal that's probably happening this week, maybe the eclipse has something to do with it, or it's at least like drawing us in that direction. Then feel your giant heart. Now melt. You've held everything, and the melting feels like this cauldron of like, okay, now we're going to melt all those elements down so they can meld 1000%. Like you've been holding these disparate pieces. Like think about little like bubbles or whatever feels good to you, to hold this image where you've been holding in your bubble, your Seven of Wands energy, right in this middle ground. And these things still feel separate, but at least you're holding them in the same space. And now with feeling your giant heart, all those separate things are going to melt and meld into one thing. And that's the thing that you're going to slide into this new opening that we know has been coming. How does that land for you? It's all weird to me. I just love how stuff is coming through. Like if each of us stops and meditates or does whatever, like I feel like and I've talked to other people, everybody has their way of like tapping into tapping in, tuning in, tapping in. And it's like, for me, I've just started to learn to trust, like, things come auditorily, things come visually, as weird as they are. Things come in dreams. Things come in direct knowings. A lot comes through my body. And so I'm just loving being able to finally start to trust that it doesn't have to look one way. And I must be saying that for a reason. As you trust and feel into your giant heart, it's like, it's the space that says, you always knew this. You always knew that about yourself. You always did know that you could hold so much. And you knew this goes back to that mojo reading. You have always known what your mojo is. And then we've guarded against it. Like, oh, I'm not ready to share it, or I don't want people to like know about it or influence it, or like, dilute it, whatever that protection energy was about, or I don't want to be seen. That a lot of us have like wounds around being seen. We have a lot of trust wounds. So it's like, who do I let into my giant melting heart, because it's the essence of who I am. And so it's like, of course we're going to protect that. And now we're going to feel into it fully so that we can melt down. That's like alchemy, right? With gold, you melt it all down. And so it becomes your special sauce. It's not all these separate things you've been accumulating through life. It's your special sauce. And it can only do that. It can only become a sauce by melting. I love making a soup. Of course it's going to come through in a soup analogy. I love soup so much. And so that's apparently what this message today is about. We're in the melting pot to feel your giant heart and see where that takes you. Like for me, tears. I was just melting, and it didn't feel sad. It didn't feel elated. Sometimes you have like epiphany elations. Oh my God. And sometimes you have, oh, this is so hard. This was like the most neutral, melting kind of cry I've ever felt. So it felt very like, of course, this is who I am. I've always known it. So we're not going to feel the elated, aha, energies. Those are epiphanies. Like, that's something revealed to me I never knew before, but it resonates. It's like, yes, this is like, of course. So I'm thinking that resonates with a lot of people out there, because it's something that we probably don't see a lot about in our society, do we? In our culture, that says, of course, this is who I am. We're always paying attention to the extremes, the lowest lows and the highest highs. Well, what about that right in the middle, centered, grounded, that of course that's who I am. Of course that's the way it would feel to meld everything in me to my special sauce, my special Mojo sauce, of course. Ah, that feels so good. So we're going to end there so I can focus on driving and you can sit with your feeling your giant heart and see where that takes you. Thank you for being here. Bye.